Welcome back. So until now we have completed three important steps. Step 1, we downloaded the database. Step 2, we downloaded Azure Data Studio, which is supposed to work for us as a database management system. And step number 3, we connected our Azure Data Studio with the database itself. Now after this, our next step is to create the database that we want to use in this particular system. So here from the home menu, let us navigate to databases and let us see how many databases are here already. So you would be seeing master, model, MSDB and TempDB. These are the default databases that will be coming and we will not be using them. The extra one that you are seeing here, fin data, you must not have that in your system at the moment. This is because I created that for myself. Now to create a database, we will have to write a small query, but don't worry, this is going to be a very easy one. And to write a new query, you will click on this new query option here. But if you are not on this screen, you can click on this file option and click on new query here as well. In either option, you will get such a screen. On this screen, we will be writing a small query, and that query is create database, and then you can give a name for your database. Here I will give FinDB, finance database. So once you have written this create database FinDB, just click on run and it will create a new database for you, and you can see that the query has been completed. And after this, now when I click on this download option here on this database, you should have this FinDB available in your database, which means that the new database has been created. Now this was the first step. We have just created a database. In this database, at this moment, there is nothing inside. So what we got to do is to upload our data, upload the tables of data that we have. Now in Azure Data Studio, you cannot upload your data. You will have to use an extension for that. In the default functionality, there is no upload option, but we can use extension for that. And that extension can be seen by going to this extensions option here. So click here, and then here you can do the search here for this, and that is CSV, and press enter, and you should be able to see this SQL Server import. Let us install this extension, and it would just take a moment, and you can see that now this extension has been installed in your computer. And once the extension has been installed, the next step would be to use this extension to upload our data. For that, I will scroll down and you would see that there is a shortcut key that has been given to us, that is Control I. So please press Control I on your keyboard. It is asking me to connect again. We can do that, and please make sure that the trust server certificate is false and the mandatory encryption has been changed to optional false. This may cause problems sometimes, so let's put it optional false and connect again. And once the connection has been done, you can see that the wizard has been launched. Now here the server is default. The database is going to be my FinDB database that we have just created. For the file that we have to pick, let us browse the file and let us go to the place where we have stored these files. So I want to begin with the general ledger, so let us select GL from here, and the table schema is DBO, that is fine. Let us click on next, and it will give you a preview of your data. That looks okay. Let us click on next, and now here this is actually an important part, and here we have to choose a data type for each column of our table. But a benefit of using this wizard is system will automatically pick up a data type, and we can trust that we can move forward. For this general ledger, we don't have a primary key. Now what is a primary key? I will explain that to you later on, and I will show you where we need to use that. But for now I will skip this explanation and I will move forward, and I can confirm you that here we have no primary key in our table GL, And finally, do we want to allow nulls in any of these columns? Well, in my case, this is going to be no. I don't want to select any of these. In my data, every single column, every single row will have a value, so I don't need to select that. And let us click on import data now, and it will just take a moment, and you can see that you have successfully inserted the data into the table. So not just the table has been created, but also the data has been inserted into that table. Let us click on done, and let us see that where this table is available. So I have this panel open here. I can go here and I can click on refresh, and you can see that my table is now appearing here. The alternative way to check would be click on new query, or you can simply go here on the query part and just write a small query here, that is select star from GL. You can just copy paste this. For now I would explain this to you when I start to explain the SQL part. I'm not going there for now, so please copy paste this query for now and see if you get the data. And if you do, it shows that everything is working fine here and your table has been imported. The next part would be to import the other tables as well, and for that I would press Ctrl I again, and here is my wizard. Let us select the right database. Let us talk about the file equation, and then here we have to select our file. Let us import the chart of accounts, and everything looks fine. Press next and next. All of this is good, but here we have to select the primary key. Now this primary key is basically one particular column in which every row has been given a separate key like 1, 2, 3, 4. And with this column, this table can communicate with other columns. So this has to be unique, like in every single row, if a count key has been used 1, the other row should be different from that, like 2, 3 or 4. So I would explain you primary key again in the next lecture, but for now let us mark this as primary key and let us move forward. Everything else is okay. So click on import data, and you can see you have successfully inserted your data into the table. Let us click done, and now you can refresh and you can see your chart of accounts have been imported. Let us press Ctrl I again for our third table. This one we are going to browse and find the territory table. Let us do that as well, and click next and click next, and our territory key here is primary key. So whatever the first column is named key, that is our primary key other than the general ledger. And click on import data, and it has been imported. And let us refresh, and you can see we have our table here. And finally let us press Ctrl I again, and let us import our last table for this presentation, and that is general ledger. So let us import the last table, that is calendar table, and let us press next and next, and the date here is primary key, and import date, and done. So with this, let us refresh, and now you can see that all of these 4 tables have been imported. With this, now we are ready to start writing our SQL, and with that, let us start this from the next section.